I'm Chris. That's Tyler. And today is a loaded show. Not even going to ask how you're doing. Going to jump straight into the news that kind of a little bit, not earth-shattering, but definitely a unique thing that kind of popped out of nowhere. Eric Dickerson came out and said on the radio, was it Woken Show, whatever show it was, that the NFL was telling teams not to draft Shedeur Sanders, and that the Browns kind of defied that and drafted him. Now, there was the conspiracy going around that this may have been the case, that it may have been collusion to kind of make an example out of him. It never made sense to me. It still doesn't really make sense to me, but it is funny hearing all of these things popping out, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel, to be honest with you, about it. It's a big show.
Mm-hmm.
You call it Big J journalism.
Big J journalism.
But I don't know how I feel about it, because the problem is it's not even really Eric Dickerson's fault. But I think recently there's been a lot of former athletes, old heads, as we call them, popping off just saying whatever.
What the fuck ever.
You know, so it's like, how much of this can we take that's real? How much is not? My rule of thumb is always that the truth is somewhere in the middle.
That's fair. And honestly, this is something that could get embellished. Like, it could become like, oh, people in the NFL don't really love Deion and the antics, and that could make its way through the chain and turn into don't draft Shedeur Sanders, right?
Was Deion a first ballot Hall of Famer? Not that this has anything to do with how the NFL feels.
I believe he was, but I honestly don't know, Tyler. That's like a random question. I would assume so, given that he's the most iconic corner ever, right? Like him and Terrell Revis, I think, are the two.
Like, is Deion Sanders really not liked? That's
where I keep going with
this. He's like a beloved former player.
That's where I go, because I don't view it as antics. Like, he's a former player who's a superstar who, no matter how you feel about him, went into a very successful job as a head coach in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like that doesn't feel like someone that they would hate. Like, it makes sense for the NFL to hate Antonio Brown, right?
Correct.
Like, it makes sense for him like to not like that. But the Sanders thing, unless you feel like he puts himself ahead of the Shield, then you can maybe feel away and be petty about him. But fuck, he's a receiver. Receivers put themselves ahead of the Shield. I mean, corners put themselves ahead of the Shield.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it doesn't fit.
Right.
The Sanders family, it doesn't feel like the Sanders family has that, level of disdain. I mean, to sabotage a kid's draft status, like, I do think that if, like, the reports of the Giants meetings with Shedeur and how poorly they went, I think were also a little exaggerated, but also probably some level of truth to that.
And can I add to that?
Sure.
I wonder if the Giants brass felt like they had to exaggerate it to justify taking Jackson Dart, because the whole draft process through, it was those two, right?
Yeah, who was QB2?
Yeah, it was who was QB2, and it was Shedeur and Cam Ward were those first two, and then there was a gap. And it's like the Giants, almost maybe rightfully or wrongfully so, needed to convince their New York media, hey, look, Jackson Dart is that much better. Yeah. I think there is collusion in the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a little bit of collusion with maybe some first round stuff. But I think above the collusion, I think owners care more about winning than they care about protecting the Shield.
They care about winning, and they also care about making money.
Yeah, but it is bad.
I don't want is making the Browns money,
right? And I don't want to ignore. I don't want to ignore the Eric Dickerson thing, because it's definitely like kind of eye popping. Because again, like he wouldn't say that. I believe he would not say that unless he absolutely heard it.
Yeah, but I mean, with all due respect, and I know that you're a Giants fan, but the way that the Giants handled the Saquon Barkley thing, and with it being so public on Hard Knocks, are we really going to listen to what the Giants say about how to handle?
Oh, no. No. The Giants are horrendous. I mean, New York media is horrendous. Like they operate. They have to sensationalize things to like garner support. But like, I don't know. Like, there's other teams that needed quarterbacks that passed on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I you know, the quarterbacks that were taken above Shedeur, like Will Howard was taken above Shedeur. Dylan Gabriel was taken above Tyler Shuck.
Here we go. But when you say it like that, Tyler, that makes me think, oh shit, this makes sense. And I, for one,
that's
when
true.
When I scrolled through it, I heard the quote, immediately went to refresh Pablo Torre Finds Out, who is the best investigative journalism in the NFL circle, because he's dropped 4 or 5 pieces detailing and exposing some big time collusion in the NFL. Now, the collusion and stuff that's going on in the NFL was never about like a draftable player, but there is a history of collusion in the NFL. And if I am trying to make sense of why Shedeur slid so much, it would make sense. I just wonder if you would get universal buy-in, I guess, is the other part of it. Because that's what it would take, right? Like, alleging this is one thing. You would need universal buy-in from every team.
Yeah, and I just don't think that you're going to get that. Like, as much as we've been told that it's about the shield and the owners are always about the shield and it's about the league and blah 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 blah, these guys also like want to win and they want to make money, and they're also very super successful businessmen with very very large egos, and they think that they know better. And so get 30 guys of that magnitude to like all agree, I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it just seems so tinfoil hat.
It's one of the frick, dude. I hate doing this. It's tinfoil hat, but it lines up, and that's what bugs me.
Yeah, and like,
because Haslam making sure he got in front of a camera and said, I did not want to draft Shedeur. I made sure I made sure the message was, I didn't want to draft Shedeur. That makes like that's like in line with the messaging, almost like he's taking heat from other owners, and he comes out, it's like, no, guys, this is what I didn't want to draft Shedeur. It was my GM. He did it.
Well, Jimmy Haslam throwing Andrew Berry under the bus is probably like as easy as breathing.
Oh, yeah, literally. Did the sun come up? Yes. Is it Andrew Berry's fault? Yes.
Yeah. And so I'm not calling Jimmy Haslam a liar. I'm also not saying that Jimmy Haslam just speaks freely and truthfully all of the time. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like, he lives in the gray.
I do believe there's collusion in the NFL. I think more collusion has to do with contracts than anything else. I think they did try to collude with Lamar Jackson during that whole saga.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that happen in the NFL that we'll never know about until somebody pissed off writes a nice fat book.
Yeah,
but
they might die before that book comes out.
Correct. I mean, the NFL is
a multi-billion-dollar machine.
Yeah,
the NFL is literally comprised of 30 businesses, all worth over $1 billion. Think about that, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you don't have something so massive without
this, without the threat of collusion,
without some dark secrets, some back deals, behind the scenes deals. None of that. It all is part of it, and I don't want to believe Eric Dickerson. I think more than anything, but I also think that it's not. I don't think it's all false, and I don't think it's all true.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like. I think it'd be great to set an example if this kid fell in the draft and like those murmurs go around. I don't think there was like some blood oath where we all sit in a circle, we cut each other's hands open, we hold hands and say we will not draft Shedeur. So it definitely is a story, but also like here we go. Where he is, there's a lot of noise around him, and I'll give the kid a lot of credit. Colluded with or not, conspiracy or not, he's got to Cleveland, and we've heard only the right things, right? Only the right things.
It's the most media trained kid I've ever seen. Almost.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say anything wrong ever.
No.
And
but he also doesn't. It doesn't like seem like a square. Like it doesn't come across as like coach speak.
No.
But it also like he doesn't say anything wrong.
It's very authentic.
He works hard. He works really hard.
Yeah. He's authentic. You know, he wears his hat backwards. He, you know, wears the big chains, and like he is who he is, and he's very comfortable in his own skin, and he talks the way he wants to talk, and he says what he wants to say. And he also always understands who he's talking to and what he's being asked. He comes across as very thoughtful, and when he answers, you know, he's off the field as of right now. He checks all of the boxes.
Right.
You know, do I think he's a 5th round talent? No, I think he's way better than a 5th round talent, which is why I'm not grading, which is why my expectations are not of a 5th round quarterback.
Yeah, you do have bigger expectations for him than you did Dylan Gabriel, even though Dylan was drafted first. And I wonder if that same messaging is like echoed through the Browns brass echo chamber.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, we talked about it on Monday's show. Dylan Gabriel is a career backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I mean, isn't he Little Marcus?
That's the ceiling.
Little Marcus Mariota?
Yeah.
Same school? Not a pro offense. I know it's 2 different times, 2 different OCs.
He's a worse armed Tua.
Yeah. And I have my opinions about Tua that I'm saving for post fantasy draft because I don't want to tip my hand or whatever. Me and Tyler are playing fantasy football again. I'm looking to go back to back. I beat Tyler last year, and then I sent him a video of me laughing at him while I beat him.
See, those are things you just don't need to say out loud.
Well, it's important because it's part of our look. Here's the thing: we have our show storyline, but we have our personal storyline. What I did. You want to tell him what I did, or do you want me to tell him what I did?
No, I don't want to talk about what you did.
I cut up highlights of every player on his team, and I put it to a Lamar Jackson song or a Kendrick Lamar song. A Kendrick Lamar song, and it was not enough. And every one of his players flashed up on screen. It's not enough. How he lost with Lamar Jackson and Amon-Ra and Saquon Barkley, I'll never know. Anyway, want to move ahead on Shedeur.
Listen, I didn't lose. My players stunk.
They got to play better. It's like
they got to play better.
You just got to play better. But you had the number 1 running back, the number 1 quarterback, and the number 1 wide receiver in all fantasy, and you lost. It's actually incredible. What David and Goliath,
and the number 2 tight end.
Yeah, you're embarrassing.
I'm not embarrassed. I didn't lose. Yeah. They got to play better.
Oh man,
I could not have picked a better team.
Yeah, I mean, you could have. I don't know what you could have done. You'd be lost. Shedeur got asked about the Dylan Gabriel comments, and it's fascinating because I thought he did a good job with answering while also kind of letting us know where his head is. He got asked if he said that Dylan Gabriel came to him on the plane and said that it was not about him. And he said, okay. And he also addressed the media and said, at this point, words won't hurt me. He then got asked if he believes Dylan Gabriel when he said it wasn't about him. He said, do I feel like he did? I don't know. And then went on later to say, you're trying to start something to the media member that asked. Translate that, Tyler.
Shedeur Sanders definitely feels a certain type of way about this. I think I don't know if Shedeur Sanders believes Dylan Gabriel.
I don't think he does. The way he said, do I feel like he did? I don't know. And got asked directly does he believe when he says that, like that tells me that
Yeah, I mean, this Shedeur Sanders is at the point right now where I think that he's also trying to create narratives in his head to give him that extra chip on his shoulder.
I agree with you. I don't think this one is in his head.
It's an easy one. It's like a layup. It's like I don't have to really manufacture this.
Yeah, well,
even if I don't think he was talking about me, it's easy for me to make it seem like it is. It's like he's believing his own lie.
And you know what? This is why I push back at that. When we see guys that dig into that kind of mindset, it's never about their own teammate. Sure. That's the unique element to this.
Sure. No doubt.
Because this being about your own teammate, someone you're in the room with, when easily you could be like, no, Dylan's my guy. We talk all the time. Obviously we're in meeting rooms. Yeah, I believe him. It's good. like even when you're in competition, you always hear quarterbacks kind of take that approach. I mean, going back to college, like Colin McCord and Devin Brown speak very highly of each other at all times. And we know that there was some tension during the quarterback battle. And like now we're in the NFL, you're supposed to be pros. And I've never heard guys like almost like phantom jab at each other. So I don't think I think he legit feels like there was either some shade there or he feels some friction elsewhere with Dillon Gabriel to the point where he's not willing to come out and say, no, that's my guy. Like, I absolutely believe him.
I want to put yourself in the shoes of Dillon Gabriel for a second. Not that I'm exonerating. I'm not siding with him. I'm just trying to see through both eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Dillon Gabriel. I got drafted ahead of him. I had a better college career than him. I did all these things, yada, yada, yada. And all I got to do is when I turn on the TV or turn on my car, everybody's talking about how he's better than me, blah, 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 blah. Would that make you feel a certain type of way too?
It would make me feel a type of way if I didn't think he was better than me. And if I didn't think like, here we go. Do you think Dillon Gabriel, if you held a gun to Dillon Gabriel's head, Dillon Gabriel, you got to answer this truthfully or else it's over. Are you going to get drafted ahead of Shedeur? What would he have said?
Probably not.
So this Shedeur, I hear what you're saying in terms of like, yeah, I'm supposed to be the guy that gets more looks. But that was really just because this popped out of nowhere. This is a surprise to me because during the whole draft process, I thought Shedeur was going to get drafted ahead of me anyway.
No, I that's true. I'm just saying it's human nature
to have some resentment. Yeah.
To have some resentment when everybody's talking disrespectfully about me, even though I'm the one that was drafted first ahead of him. This team drafted me first. They chose me over him. And none of y'all, and I haven't even played a snap yet. And you're all feeling a certain type of way.
Then say it before you take a snap and look like ass.
True.
Because here's the thing. You went out there harboring all this resentment. You looked bad. And then you had an evil smirk at the camera and made the comment that kind of is in the echo chamber of like things that we have heard tie with Shedeur. And obviously, like we've heard Dan Lanning talk about Colorado, who was your college head coach.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt.
Tyler, I have a serious question. You're a pretty competitive guy, right?
I would say so.
When things weren't going your way, did you ever smile on the bench?
No.
I was mad as fuck when things didn't go my way. I was not smiling. So you harbor all this resentment and someone asks you a question and you got a little smirk on your face. And I know people are going to let you kind of squirt free out of this, which is natural. If I'm Shedeur, I'm looking at you like, wait, I'm not the guy.
You know what's crazy though? You know what's more revealing is I don't think Dillon Gabriel thinks he played bad.
Here we go. The rules of Tyler and Chris. What do we want number one above everything else? Have self-awareness, my brother.
I understand. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying Dillon Gabriel strikes me as a guy like I made some throws that I needed to make, moved the ball, blah, 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 was accurate, did all the things that I do. And he probably thinks that pick was not his fault. I'm telling you right now, I don't think he thinks that interception was his fault.
Yeah, that can't be my quarterback, big dog. I really wish the Browns had Hard Knocks. I wish the Browns had Hard Knocks this year.
Everybody wishes the Browns had Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
The only people that don't want the Browns to have Hard Knocks is the Browns.
Haslam and Barry and them.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski is no. Jimmy Haslam would love to have Hard Knocks because he's about that dollar.
Nah, he wouldn't. He doesn't want to expose
Kevin Stefanski does not want to have Hard Knocks.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So
we love Shedeur. Predictions and thoughts for this upcoming game.
Well, I think they're going to split the game with Shedeur and Dillon. Who do you think is going to start?
Who do I think is going to start? I don't know. I think Dillon actually.
Actually, I think that they're going to start Flacco. I think that the starters are going to start. They're going to play a series or two. At least I sure should hope so. Boy, do I hope so. I don't know. They said a dress rehearsal. They did say that's been said.
Yeah, and dress rehearsal with support. Who did they just name the starting quarterback?
Joe Flacco.
You like that? That's the obvious move, right?
I have a question.
What is your question?
It's a two-way question.
Okay.
What happens when let's say I'm going to say that Joe Flacco starts the first 6 games of the season. What happens when they go 1-5 and 2-4?
Are you ready to face some boo birds?
Just tell me what happens? Do they make a change?
I think they have to make a change. Yeah.
Okay, then who do you think comes off the bench first?
I think Shedeur comes off the bench first. Because right, you said that Stefanski wants to.
Bro, I don't think Shedeur's coming off the bench first. I think Dylan Gabriel's going to get the first crack.
You know why that's going to be so bad? He might get booed out there. I just want to see how they travel, actually, how the Shedeur fans travel. Because I wonder if what we're saying on social media is going to be as loud as what we see on game day. Or if by the time we get to game day, like fans want Shedeur. So I think if Dylan Gabriel goes out there, you could hear "We want Shedeur" chants in Cleveland.
100%.
I don't know if Dylan Gabriel's cut out for that.
Okay. That was the easy question.
Okay.
What happens when they go 4-2 in the first 6 games?
Oh, what you mean? What happens? Joey Flacco.
That's not what you were saying. You didn't say that was a good thing, though.
No, that's not a good. No, that's not what Chris Drew would do. But that's what it's going to be because, and I got to that point because you told me Stefanski wants to win games. Like he's not going to sit back here and lose every game again.
Yeah, I don't think he can afford to. I think Kevin Stefanski thinks that he's coaching for his job. So
I'm saying if they're 4-2, they're gonna keep this thing moving unless we run into like a Brian Flores situation down there in Miami where the owner goes to him, "We need you to lose, and then I'm going to fire you if you keep winning."
I don't think I don't think Jimmy Haslam will fire him because Jimmy knows that, like, as Browns fans, you know who also wants to win football games is Browns fans. Browns fans. I was talking to my dad about this, and he said, "I don't care about next year. I want to win. I want to be a consistently well-run and a successful." He goes, "I just want to make the playoffs."
Steelers.
He wants to be the Steelers. And I think a lot of Browns fans want to be the Steelers.
I mean, the Steelers are the Guardians.
Yeah.
And like, you'd absolutely take that, right? Like, that's what that is.
But to me, I don't look at it that way. Maybe
your goal is only the big thing, the big dog.
Yeah. I mean, it's pro sports, man. Like, I asked him, I was like, because he brought up the Guardians thing too. And I was like, aren't you tired of that though? Like at some point, the Guardians got to go win the big one.
Well, I guess the stance is with teams like that, you enjoy the journey and getting to know the team. Remember, we've discussed this. Like
baseball is that way.
No, I'm saying football is that way too. If you're really into it,
I don't think so. Because with football in college and in the NFL, and more so in college, is because of the way that it's structured. But like every week feels like life or death.
Okay, that's fair.
And to me, and it's because you only play once a week, and it's because the season's only 4 months long. It's not a marathon. It's like a 5K.
I guess like I root for Georgia Tech, so sometimes I feel like it is about the journey.
Well, those are your expectations, though.
Yeah, right? My expectations make it about the journey. But it's like, so here we go. Browns fans' expectations, I think, make it about the journey, and they want the journey to end in a playoff game.
But at some point, let's say the Browns do. Let's say they make the playoffs 7 out of the next 10 years. It's going to get old.
That's fair, Tyler. But that's 7 out of the next 10. It's like, if I haven't had...
Bro, I swear to God, even if they made the playoffs 4 out of the next 5, the shift, there will be a shift.
There will be, but your dad's not worried about that shift. Your dad's not worried about that shift right now. Your dad is worried about, I just want to taste the lasagna.
But like, this roster isn't cut out, is not good enough to win a Super Bowl. Even if they make the playoffs, congratulations. We'll enjoy it this year. But at some point, are you going to get there? Can you build a Super Bowl roster if you're just living in the mediocrity world? It's like being the 8th seed in the NBA playoffs for 5 years. Who the fuck cares?
But Tyler, I'll push back. They have not been the 8th. They just had a top 2 pick.
My standpoint is this: would it be fun to make the playoffs this year? Sure. Is that the benefit of the long term? No.
Yeah, I guess it's funny because sometimes sports teams want to go through like the ladder process. Okay, I was terrible this year. Next year I was a little better. Next year I was a little better. This year I was really, really good. And year 4 of my year one's pick.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand, like, if you make the playoffs, you have a chance. I don't think that is that way in football. I just don't believe it.
Gotcha.
I don't think there is that way in football.
I think it's that way in the NFL.
I don't know, man.
Why do we see so much parity in the NFL, Tyler?
Have we?
Absolutely.
There's been 4 quarterbacks to play the Super Bowl from the AFC.
Yeah, but there's been
25 years. 4.
Yeah, I guess in the AFC there's a little bit of a roadblock, but there's absolutely parity.
Barely.
Look, there's more parity in the NFL than there's in college.
It doesn't feel that way.
Look, I think that 5 new teams make the playoffs every single year.
Yeah, make the playoffs. I'm talking about winning the whole thing.
I'm just talking about overall parity. Like, the Commanders had a number 2 overall pick and they just made it to the NFC Championship game. We absolutely see parity in like quicker flip arounds in the NFL.
So in the last 3 years, there's been 3 different teams to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so like
Kansas City, Philadelphia, Kansas City, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Kansas City.
I mean, a 3-year winner, you're getting
I just like
that's you absolutely get more parity.
The gap between the real contenders and the pretenders is, to me, is just if you're not making decisions to put yourself in a position to win the big one, then what are we doing? And I understand that, like, you have to go through the steps to get there. Like, I get that. And, like, I'm not discrediting what my dad's saying about I want to just be making the playoffs this year would be great. Absolutely, it'd be great.
Here we go. Let me ask you a question. Because I hear what you're saying a little bit, but I want to push back just in a smidge. Do you think the Commanders' year last year was beneficial to them long term?
It's hard to say that without knowing that, like, they're literally not paying like their 3rd most important player on their team. It's hard for me to say, like, they're going to take a step backwards.
I guess I'm saying, like, do you think the Commanders liked making the playoffs and here we go. Would you trade making it to an NFC Championship game for a bad year with another high pick this year?
So, like, you're saying make the NFC Championship game and then be bad this year?
What I'm saying, would you have rather, like, if you were a Commanders fan, would you have rather made the NFC Championship game last year or had a top 3 pick last year? Because they drafted 2 and then made the NFC Championship game.
I guess since they're in the NFC, like, I guess you're making it. That's a good point. I would have rather made the NFC Championship.
And, like, same for CJ Stroud. Like, CJ Stroud, year 1, like, you want to see your team show signs of life and be like, and you know what that does. And I know it hurts you, like, draft stuff and whatever, but also, like, the progress chain makes you attracted to free agents too.
I guess here's what I'll say. The difference between those 2 examples, though, is that in the 2 examples you just said, they have their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback played.
We don't have that. So making the playoffs with a 40-year-old quarterback does nothing for me. Okay. It does not move me at all. What does that do for you?
Yeah. No,
you still don't know what you have. You still don't know where you're going. You have no idea where your franchise is moving to because you're making the playoffs with a 40-year-old quarterback. Okay, great. It's a lot of. It's.
Would you be okay with them making a push if they knew Shedeur was the next guy?
The only way we're going to know if Shedeur is the next guy, though, is if they don't take a quarterback in next year's draft.
Yeah, I know. And here we go. Because you know who did a playoff push with a rookie quarterback that they didn't play?
Who?
Pat Mahomes. Like they made a playoff push, and they try to make the playoffs.
If then I would be very exciting. But like
that's also like the super anomaly. That's a super anomaly.
Yeah, it just doesn't like.
It never works out that way.
I don't think it. I just don't trust the Browns to do that.
And I think part of me is like, because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, I want the Giants to make the playoffs.
But you also believe that Jackson Dart is a franchise quarterback.
Correct.
I don't
have that yet.
Okay. I don't have that. I just don't. In the NFL, and we had this discussion, if you don't have the guy or your guy, not even the guy, your guy, if you don't have your guy, you're going nowhere. You're standing in mud. You can't move forward until you have the quarterback. There's a reason why quarterbacks make so much more money
you have to have
than everybody else in the NFL. You have to have your quarterback. And until you do that, you can't move forward and grow. Yeah. I think that's where I was like, I didn't say that.
Yeah, like, no, that is a super valid point. Honestly, I will make sure I bookmark that because you're going crazy. Kenny Pickett not playing again.
They can't keep him on the roster.
I don't think so, but I guess there's a growing belief. There's a growing belief they're going to carry 4 into the season,
which is the stupidest shit you've ever. What's the point?
There isn't one.
Because if Joe Flacco stinks, and you bring out Kenny Pickett, your whole fan base will quit on the 2025 season. They'll quit.
Well, what that means is Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur aren't it. That's the sign.
But like, I don't trust the Browns' evaluation.
Well, I'm telling you, that's what they're saying. Like if they trot him out there, that's what they're saying.
Then what a waste of time all of this was.
Well, yeah.
What a waste of
picks.
What a waste of those 2 picks. What a waste of the development. What a waste of everything. I mean, you were splitting reps with 5 guys.
Yeah.
Like, I understand you can't like burn you. I mean, you can't expect them to like in July go out there and throw 35 passes a day at practice. But like Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel threw 9 passes in team drills. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's not enough.
It's just, to me, like it would be another sign of incompetence. Just another example of incompetence.
I think they can move him, and I'm of the belief that they cannot move him.
Just cut him.
That's where I'm at. I think they have to, but I think they're holding on to maybe being able to get something for him. You're
on the hook to pay somebody $72 million this year. What are they on the hook to pay him? $7 million, Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
What's $7 million?
Chump change.
They actually have $20+ million in cap space.
Yeah, they need some money to fall off the books. They need it bad.
But like they have money to spend.
I know they do. I'm saying like next year, though, I'm thinking about the cap gymnastics that they've been doing. At some point,
what they should go do is they should take that 26, whatever that money is, and go give Stephon Gilmore 1 year, $20 million. Here you go, dog.
Come be that.
Because Denzel Ward's hurt his shoulder. Now he's okay.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
He's fine, but like
body's kind of glass made at this point. And I hate to say it, obviously.
He's made it. He's like his brain is one hit away from being mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And like, also, I know that Stephon Gilmore is probably a little old, maybe lost a step, but like, he's sure as shit better than Martin Emerson.
I hate watching Martin Emerson play corner. I hope I'm wrong, but I hate watching. But here we go. Like, how do you expect Martin Emerson to get better when he's going up against a bunch of Jags in practice? Because at least Denzel Ward came from Ohio State.
Dog, we've watched Martin Emerson play enough regular season football to know that he stinks.
I was just trying to give him, honestly, stop drafting corners named Martin. Start there. Start with the name Martin. You could be an O lineman. You could be a linebacker. You could be an accountant. You can't be my starting corner.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
One of those things.
Yeah, I just like, you can't, to me, like you got to get off Kenny Pickett. You got to move on. You have to.
I mean, if they don't, they'd be absolutely insane people. I believe it is. Who's playing right now? Because we record on a Thursday. I saw the thing that Jalen Monroe is going to get a majority of the snaps.
Yeah, thank God the Browns didn't draft him.
I'm excited. He's playing.
The Steelers are at Carolina, and the Patriots are playing the Giants.
Yeah, I knew my Giants were playing today. I know what the other game was. Got my Giants shirt on, even though it's I-71 rundown. While you're here, make sure and like and sub. The channel's been growing a little bit, and me and Tyler doing this, but obviously we want to do
subscribe, like, comment.
Yeah, like,
I want to start trying to get in the comments a little more. So make some comments, comment on the show, and we'll go back.
We love a good comment section, a good lively comment section.
Yeah, absolutely. On Twitter too. We put the show on Twitter as well, so you can watch
the show's been growing a little bit, and also like Ron and Q been going on, got it going on. I don't know, it's been a good little bump in the right direction. Want to switch gears? College football. The SEC came out earlier today because we are recording on a Thursday, putting it out on Friday. That they were, the report came out, they're moving closer towards a 9-game conference schedule. Okay, let's start one more time. The SEC came out earlier that they were interested or moving closer to having 9 conference games, matching what the Big Ten does. Tyler and I have been beating the table for this to happen for a long time. And then as I'm leaving as I'm getting to fall ball practice for my little brother, news breaks, get a call from Ron. Hey, the SEC did it. In 2026, they're moving to 9 conference games. This comes on the heels of the committee adjusting how they view SOS and SOR that kind of benefited the Big Ten. The Big Ten also kind of flexing their muscles the last 2 years in regards to, winning the title and also dominating the postseason in general, including other bowls. SEC has officially been little broed by the Big Ten in the modern age of college football. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the closer we get to some sort of uniformity between the Big Ten and the SEC, because, make no mistake, I still believe in my heart of hearts that we are heading to a 2 conference leagues, 2 massive conference leagues with divisions, and it's going to look just like the NFL. I think that's where we're headed. I think eventually the ACC and the Big 12 will be split amongst the Big 10 and the SEC.
I agree with you. But I think you're glossing over is that the SEC and the Big 10 were in a power struggle, because I think everybody knew that, but it was a power struggle before we got there.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I think the things that I think Tony Petitti says some weird shit to the media, basically with that 2018 garbage idea that was. But the proof is in the pudding, and I think the SEC realized okay, this is working for them. We need to make this work for us. Well, and now it's almost as if they're there can be a little bit of truth to their propaganda.
Well, I think that this is an acknowledgement that they lost. I think this is the Big Ten over the SEC again, and it's like this because I haven't forgot what they did 3 months ago. The SEC 3 months ago gave a package out to everybody going back 20 or 15 years in regards to why they are the best conference with data points and all this. They were kicking and screaming, trying to convince the whole world that they were the superior conference. And the issue is for the first time since the inception of the SEC asked us to look at everything except for the on-field results. Because previously, when Big Ten people would say that the conference stuff was close, the SEC would say what? Well, look at the on-field results. Mm-hmm. And then the SEC moved to, well, look at the on-field results 10 to 15 years ago. And the Big Ten is saying, no. There was this big change called NIL and this big change called the transfer portal. And since then, we are better than you. The SEC resisted. The Big Ten didn't budge. The Big Ten said, okay, we'll open it. I mean, let's have 28 teams in the playoffs, which really is a play to get 16 teams in. And the SEC realized, shoot, the committee's changing how they view strength of schedule, strength of record, and college football fans are getting smarter, and they're on to the con that was that late season extra Mercer game that teams.
Well, let me ask you this. I just thought about this. Do you think that this was the part of the deal that will, because the SEC wants the 5 plus the 11, and the Big Ten wanted the 4-4-2-2 ever.
Yeah.
More. Do you think this was the concession that the SEC made to get the 5 plus the 11? because I still believe that the SEC thinks they're superior to the Big Ten. I think they still believe that. And this is how they're going to be like, you know what? We believe that the 5+11 helps us more than it helps the Big Ten. If this is what it takes, then they'll do it. I'm asking you the question. Like, I don't know.
No, I don't think this is. I think that they realize that their days of trying to sneak in these Missouris, the South Carolinas without the extra conference win are over. They're realizing that teams that are in the SEC middle ground, instead of like being elite and good, they run that elite and then middle ground and then small good. I think they realize that that's not getting teams in, and they want to guarantee the Ole Misses get in with an extra conference win rather than trying to fight for Ole Miss and South Carolina. Because what they did last year was they tried to push for Alabama and Ole Miss. But the issue is, one of the things that was pointed on the rankings was the fact that South Carolina was right there too. So we all have equal case, and I want to take care of our two top dogs. And sorry, little guy, like we tried to take care of you for years. You didn't carry your weight. And so now we're going to have to strengthen the rest of the conference. Because the SEC was invested into helping their little guys sneak in. And the Big Ten kind of stomped them out on that.
Yeah, I do think that both conferences with the 9-game schedule, there needs to be some sort of like some sort of formula to create a fair schedule for everybody, because I think both conferences are still going to run into a situation where, like, with all due respect, and I was happy that Indiana went 11-1 last year. Like it was good for the Big Ten, but with all due respect, they only had to play Ohio State. Like that doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, or last year it was Texas. Texas played nobody except for Georgia, but Georgia had to play Alabama, Texas. They had to play Ole Miss. They had to play all these. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's like it just seems all like shooting darts and like whatever it lands on is who they got to play.
I mean, that's kind of what it is, though. That's how the NFL is.
But no, that's not, because your schedule is based on where you finished the year before. If you're a 4th place team, you play the other 4th place teams in the A. So the Browns finished last. They're going to play the 4th place teams in the other divisions in the AFC. They're going to play their so they have their six division games. They have the 3 other last place teams in the AFC. That's 9. They have their NFC games, so that's 4 more. That's 13, and then they mix in other AFC teams. But like, if you finish 4th, you're playing the other 4th place teams in the AFC.
As I look at it, I wonder why the Browns tend to have, one of the tougher schedules in the sport.
Well, they're playing, I forget who's their NFC division. Because last year it was the NFC East.
Yeah.
This year,
in the NFC,
it's the NFC. They have the NFC North, so they got to play the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Bears. Well, the Packers and the Lions are really good. So are the Vikings.
Man, yeah, you're right. I guess for me, that doesn't bug me at all, because I think that kind of thing all gets ironed out in the postseason.
Well, but it's also like this year, like Georgia's playing Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, and Texas again doesn't really play anybody.
I mean, Texas gets Florida, Georgia, and Ohio State. So yeah, I mean,
but the Ohio State game is irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
That's outside of the.
I just think that now that they're going,
well, here we go. When they get that ninth game, when they get that 9th game, it becomes harder to avoid the cakewalks. That's like the Big Ten point.
Correct. They don't get to play Mercer in November.
Yeah, I'm saying, so like naturally, like you draw a better shot of like adding another good one.
But I think if Sankey and what's his face, Petiti, want to really move like big bosses, they will come up with some sort of scheduling formula. And like realistically, both of them should be moving in a way that supports their best 4 teams.
Well, right now they're not doing that, Tyler. Like now we're still in the budding heads phase, which I think it's good for the sport. I think that's the right thing, because the SEC has disrespected the Big Ten for years, And the Big Ten now has the leverage. And so you're not going to come to the table in little bromy because we just won back-to-back.
Yeah.
And also like the whole Georgia thing and like the rankings optically get messed up because of SEC bias. And then the other part of it is, well, Indiana put up a better game against Notre Dame than Georgia did.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it's like we're closer no matter what. And like there's no easy schedule in the Big Ten because I know Indiana ran through the Big Ten, but that's because they were really good, not because the Big Ten schedule is easy.
So look at this. So next year, these are who Ohio State plays next year. They have at Texas, at Indiana, at Iowa, at Nebraska. They have to play Illinois, Michigan, Oregon, and they have to go to USC.
That's the Big Ten.
Insane.
No, the Big Ten is just I'm saying the Big Ten is just good. So I don't think it needs regulate. Like if they play 9 conference games in the Big Ten is just good.
I mean, there's something but it just doesn't add up. Like it doesn't. I just feel like there's no sort of, and I'm getting way out. Like this was not. I don't know. I'm getting a little off topic here, but like it just doesn't seem like 2026 Michigan has to play Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State. Like what the fuck?
Doug, here's the just real quick. Like here's the thing. You brought up Nebraska. Like that's supposed to be a team that's scary. Doug, Nebraska finished but under UCLA and Rutgers last year in the Big Ten.
But we know that they're going to be good this year, and they're going to be really good next year.
I'm saying these teams turn over.
True, that's true.
Like
it's just one of those things where if you finish in the top 4, my thing is if you're Ohio State or you're Oregon or you're Penn State and you finish in the top 4, I shouldn't have to play the 3 other teams that also finish in the top 4. What does that do? Here's the reason why is because majority of the time the top 4 is the same 4 teams.
Yeah, and I guess that'll happen. You're right, that shouldn't happen, but I think it'll happen less often than you would think.
Yeah, it's just to me like, what was the top 4 last year in the SEC? It was Texas.
Don't you want to ask about the top 4 in the Big Ten?
Well, I'm going to do both. Texas, Georgia. Was it?
I'll go in order. It was so Georgia 1, Texas 2, Tennessee 3, Alabama 4.
Dog, if I'm Kirby Smart, I'm going to Greg Sankey. Like, what the fuck, bro? I'm playing all 3 of them.
Wait, no, yeah.
But Texas only has to play me.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That is
like,
crazy.
that
but
doesn't
also,
add up. And so and then you go.
Sankey,
you go to the
but
Big
Sankey
10.
also gifted Georgia 2 back-to-back really easy schedules to help you get to where you're supposed to go.
When?
Well, if we look at Georgia had a really easy record a couple years ago.
Well, read the Big Ten standings. What was
Do you
it?
want to guess them?
Oregon,
funny.
Penn State, Indiana, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State's like, yo, I had to play all 3 of them.
Yeah. Illinois 5.
Yeah, it's just like, what's it fuck me for? Like one team's getting fucked.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's unavoidable, but it doesn't bug me because I think it all irons itself out. But I'm just happy the SEC bent the knee to go to 9 games.
Yes,
we do have.
I think that's a great thing. I should say I think it's a great thing that SEC is going to 9 conference games.
Yeah, it's really important. Just for both conferences as a whole, and I'm glad that it pays to win titles. Is essentially what that is. Tyler, you got your picks of the week because it is week 1 of college football.
So we're gonna have a segment, and I'm gonna give my picks of the week, and Chris is gonna tell me if I'm an idiot or he believes me.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna pick the biggest games of the week.
Okay.
So sometimes we'll have more than others. For week 0, we only have the 1 game, but it's a big one for the Big 12. Kansas State playing Iowa State in Ireland.
Yeah.
Noon. Kansas State is favored by 3.5. I'm going to take Kansas State and give the points. I think Kansas State is favored to win the Big 12 for a reason. I think their quarterback is better than Iowa State's returning quarterback. I also think that they have better receivers, and I think they're just a little bit more talented. They're just a little bit better team. So
Okay.
I got Kansas State winning by 9.
I have Iowa State winning, so I'm not on board with you on this one.
Hey, I'll take Kansas State minus the 3.5 because I think this is a big game for. Oh, you are frozen. This is a big game. One of these teams is like it's got to show. This is a big. I think this is a very, very big game, and I think Kansas State is poised for a good year.
You can hear me though, right?
In here, you're just very much frozen, and it's a very interesting face that you're frozen on right now.
Yeah, that's a wild face. That'll be fun post production. My thing is, in Ireland last year we had the big upset, right?
Yep.
I think we're going to see it again. And I want to say this, Tyler, and I don't want you to laugh at me. I think Iowa State actually has the better quarterback. And so I will trust the better quarterback week 1. I don't know if the country is quite familiar with Rocco Becht yet, but Rocco Becht last year, 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks. He was really good. And he's a little bit of a gamer. He's scrappy, 6'1", 210, got a little bit of that to him. And he also is a rushing threat, ran for 318 yards last year. And that matters because also sacks take away from yards. He is good.
No, I think they're both. I think they're both good. I think Avery Johnson's good in his own way. I think I just kind of believe in the Kansas State roster a little bit more.
That's fair. And I think honestly, I believe in the quarterback more because he threw for more yards, same amount of touchdowns, less picks than Avery Johnson. And they're the same age heading into junior year. And I just like it a little bit more because I believe in Rocco Becht.
No, I think that's fair. I think Avery Johnson's maybe not as productive as Rocco Becht, but I think he's a better athlete.
Yeah, definitely a better
bigger, better athlete. So I think the strides. I'm predicting that Avery Johnson takes strides and it gets better, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really fun game for sure. And I also think that I just think Kansas State, like this is a year. I think Arizona State's still going to win the conference, but I think Kansas State
is the best quarterback in the conference.
I think Arizona State and Kansas State play for the Big 12 championship game.
That's fair.
I think this is a big game for that race.
So
to stay in line with my predictions of who's playing the the conference championship game, I'm going to pick Kansas State.
Kansas State minus 3.5. The more I get into this, the closer we get to the Texas Ohio State game, it is moving into must-win territory for me, and in large part because of how the conference wars are heating up. And I think that Ryan Day has a chance to go on a real legacy run here this year. And I think it starts with Texas. I think this team needs the belief. I think this quarterback, Julian Sand, needs the belief of I can do this, or at least make it a really good fight week 1. It's moving into must-win territory for me. I don't want to ask you if it is because I don't think we've talked about it before. But do you think this game is more on the offense or the defense for Ohio State?
I'm going to cop out a little bit, and I'm going to say that it's on the defense very early in this game to set the tone and give Julian Sand time to like lower his heart rate and catch his breath.
Yeah.
But I do think that this game, like Julian Sand is going to have to make some throws in this zone coverage that are going to have to be big time throws to win the game.
I agree. I don't want Julian Sand to have to go blow for blow out the gate with Arch Manning. So I agree with you. And also, I don't want Arch Manning to feel like, oh, my offensive line is better than I thought they were, because they've struggled in camp blocking that D line up front.
Yeah.
And so I can't have Arch Manning settled. The one thing the Mannings struggled with is when the offensive line is bad, I'm not so great either.
I don't want to give away too much because we are going to have a full preview on Dead Air Sports with the two of us and Ronnie Q.
First piece of content altogether. I'm excited.
And it's going to be sweet. So I don't want to give away too much of my thoughts, but I do think I believe that Sark has enough on tape that Matt Patricia is going to have an idea of what he wants to do. And I don't think anybody really knows what Matt Patricia is going to do as defensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Because we've never seen him like flare over to this world, right?
Correct. So I want to believe that is going to be. I think the Ohio State defense versus the Texas offense is going to be the most entertaining competition because of the play callers. And I think that I do think it's very important for Julian Sand to look the part.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't think it's a must win, but I do think it is I must perform well type of game because this is literally a heavyweight fight. There's going to be ebbs and flows. This is going to be a close game.
I mean, this could be the Natty. Like this could be like game one and the last game both be the Natty.
This game is going to come down to the last 8 minutes for sure. There's no doubt about it. So I need Julian Sand needs to go out there and perform well enough to make Ohio State fans believe like it's there, we see it, and we believe in it. And I think his teammates need to see that as well.
Yeah.
Because if he looks the part, and if he doesn't look like the moment's too big for him, we're going to be just fine. But I know, I understand where you're coming from, though. And why don't you explain where you're coming from and why you think this is
like the must-win stance?
Yeah.
Because I have said this before. There's not a dragon right now in the sport. There's a bunch of pups that are like working on climbing the mountain, and there's a huge void that Nick Saban left. And I think it's important for Ohio State's recruiting, for Ohio State's booster base, for the Ohio State brand, for them to beat Texas early. I think there needs to be a stance as we begin to move further and further away from like the Urban Meyer built this or whatever into Ryan Day's next group. I think that for Ryan Day, he struggles with imposter syndrome. And I think right now, when there is that throne that's right there readily available for him, I think beating Texas would get rid of the imposter syndrome because he's moving in from Urban Meyer's little homie to essentially one of the big dogs of the sport. And he needs to believe it. And I think it's easy to like get hot and like whatever happened last year happened. I mean, shit, we've seen Ed Orgeron win a title. We know that Ryan is better than Ed Orgeron. But for conference optics, for Ryan Day's optics and his confidence, he needs to win this game to continue to kind of flower the way we've seen him the last couple months.
Ron and Q did a really good show on like how they think that Ryan Day is moving different, sounding different, looking different. And Ryan Day be looking like he be sleeping at least 6 hours, 7 hours a night.
Yeah, exactly. And like that, and how do we make sure that version of Ryan Day continues?
I hear you. There's no doubt about it.
With a win week one, because all of a sudden, if you get that win week one, on top of the world for a little while.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I do think, I just feel like I really believe that we're going to play them again.
Me too.
Which is kind of like where I kind of view it like Oregon last year. Where like, it looked the part. It looked right. You know, I think we're going to see them again. It's not the end of the world.
So we're a little bit different. It's not the end of the world, but I need it, Tyler.
You're making a very good argument for it. You really are. I'm actually like
You're on the fence a little bit, closer to the fence.
It brought me closer to the fence. I think Ryan Day knows who he is more so than I think he knows more about who he is as a head coach.
Right now, he's wet cement to me.
It's a good way to put it.
And I know it hardens that cement.
I also think that Ryan Day might be adjusting to the 12-team playoff better than anybody else.
NFL coach.
Because I think he's viewing this more as like an NFL thing, where he's building the team to be playing its best football when it's time to play your best football.
Right.
And so this is an early
indicator,
measuring stick.
Yeah.
And then I think what happens is they take this game and they build up for another measuring stick against Penn State. And then they use that game to continue to build. And then, you know, he's got to get over this Michigan thing. That's a completely him problem.
Yeah,
I'm convinced
that's almost a separate season.
It's a separate thing. It is, and it's so funny, man. watching the Michigan comments on X and whatnot, it's just like, if we talk about Michigan, we're obsessed with Michigan, and we don't care that we won a national championship. And if we don't talk about them and only talk about a national championship, then the rivalry means nothing.
Yeah.
Just let me know what it means, where I got to be,
what it means to you, and we'll tailor the message for you. No, you're right.
Man.
Okay. A random question, and feel free to answer however you want. If Ohio State wins week 1, what is their rank week 2?
1.
Okay, so leapfrog Penn State. I agree. I was just curious. Want to flip to the guards, man. A little bit of a sputter. We'll start with the positive. I meant to text you back about his plus stuff grades, but I didn't see the change-up numbers, and I will get them for you. But Parker Messick made his debut, and Tyler, it looks really encouraging.
That is a great way to put it. It looks very encouraging. Our boy Pat fell in love immediately.
Yeah.
But that's just who Pat is.
Shout out Pat, dude. It looks like a different kind of fastball. I'll start with that.
It does. And I didn't know he had 95 in him. And I wonder if he had 95 because like it was his major league debut.
Well, they say major league debut, you get a mile and a half.
So, is 95 here to, because if he can reach back and get 95 when he wants to, like, buddy, that is different.
And his 95 plays different. Like, it feels like a high spin,
correct,
late ride, lefty kind of side swipe 95.
So a couple things. I love how his tempo. Mm-hmm. Nobody loves a good tempo pitcher more than his defense. Nobody. I mean, nobody.
Keeps everybody locked in and engaged.
They're going to play great defense behind that kid because they're always going to be locked in because it's, there's no waiting around. I think he's super competitive. I watched some highlights of him at Florida State, and he was a psycho.
He's a psycho. State. Yeah, he's a psycho. And I'm sad that they take that out of you in the minor leagues, but he's a psycho. His dad's a psycho, too.
Yeah, and I think but the thing about it, though, I think I realized, too, in college, like, it's just more emotional because, like, I don't know what it is about college. It feels like the fans are closer to you.
There's not 162 games. Is what's different.
There's not 162 games, so it feels more like, you got to do it.
And like the MLB is also a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
We're not going to do all that.
Yeah, and there's moments where he's going to want to do that, and he's going to be able to do that, and that's great. I'm all for it.
Like Scuba. We saw Scuba when he walked off the field against Cleveland.
I think I don't think he looked unfazed by the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love that. I think his stuff is going to play well enough. I think he throws hard enough. I think his changeup is legit. I think that's a legit changeup. So I would like to see a little bit more of the breaking ball. I think his curveball was a nice curveball to like spin for a strike as a show me.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a breaking ball become a swing and miss pitch.
Like the hammer put away pitch, because it's not that right now.
I think, who he reminds me of?
Oh.
And this is a little recency bias, but he reminds me of like a Matt Boyd.
He does have, I could see it.
Works fast, competitive, throws strikes, has a plus pitch. Matt Boyd's slider is nasty.
It is, and it's a hammer. It's a hammer.
The changeup could be his. I mean, but I think Parker Messick is who the Guardians are trying to like. That's who they think that they want to be as a pitching development. He just kind of seems like that mold that they're trying to make. I mean, this pitching staff, the starting pitching staff is just the most average shit you ever did see. Mm-hmm. So average. And they're leading, like they're fifth in walks. They don't have a ton of strikeouts. They're like 13th in strike. They're just so average. They're 12th in ERA. They don't do anything like great. They don't have it's just one of those things where I think, kind of transitioning to what the Guardians do.
Wait, before you transition to that, real quick on Parker. I'm a nerd, so let me just flow this in here. Stuff plus metrics is spin, pitch shape, velocity, extension, not so much location. It's just like, what does your pitch do stuff wise? And the location is like, it's just a metric, like what pitches work. Mm-hmm. Stuff plus Gavin Williams, who we both think has good stuff, right? Slow running pitch ability, but that's good stuff. His Stuff plus metric is 103.
What's league average?
League average, I believe, is 100.
Okay.
It might be a little bit lower than that. But anyway, Gavin is at 103. That's considered good. His stuff is good. Yeah. Parker Messick, it's one start, so the spin's up a little bit, all that. The shapes are up a little bit because it's the first start is 104. It's like they like his pure stuff right now more than they like Gavin Williams. And I just want to flip that out there because I do think that's an important indicator of like future success.
Yeah, I think he has, and if you really think about it, we haven't really developed a great left-handed pitcher in a long time.
I've heard people describe it as like it's a different challenge.
Yeah, it is a different challenge because it's just different. Like there's different expectations, there's different metrics,
different attack angles. You're facing different kind of hitter. Like, it's just different.
Traditionally, right-handed pitchers have needed to throw harder than left-handed pitchers coming up. So it's a different kind of development process.
They said if you're left-handed and you hit 93, welcome to the minors. Like,
yeah, bro. Minimum. If you are a left-handed pitcher in high school and you sit at the 90-mile-an-hour mark,
you'll be on an MLB
brother. Roster. You're not going to college.
All right. Yeah, it just works like that.
You're going to get drafted high enough where they're going to pay you enough signing bonus where you are not going to college.
The fact that Scuba was an 11th round pick is still crazy.
I do want to know how hard Scuba was throwing when he was coming out of high school and then in college. Like, where was he at?
And he was a multi-sport guy too. So, but I don't have that in front of me right now. But it was very, very encouraging.
More than anything, you just want, like, when a young pitcher makes his debut, like, you want to see if it looks too much for him, and it didn't look too much for him. And make no mistake, that Arizona lineup can hit. They can swing it.
Man, I tried to warn you, bro. You were kind of iffy because obviously they made some moves at the deadline, but they got bats, dude.
Yeah, so
they absolutely had bats. The bad side, the Guardians have been sputtering lately.
I think who this team is, they're coming back to the mean. So they had the 10-game losing streak, and then they had the really good stretch where they won like 22 out of 30 games. And I think that they're coming back to the mean. And unfortunately, like, that team is just, it's not a playoff team, man. I don't think that's who they, I don't think the 10-game losing streak is who they are. And I don't think the 22 out of 30 is who they are either. This team is, again, I'll say it again, it's kind of who they are. They beat the bad teams. They beat the Royals. They beat the White Sox. They beat the teams that aren't very good. And they try to compete as best they can against teams that have more talent than they are. Like, I would say that the Diamondbacks have more talent than the Guardians have. And it showed. It showed. Yeah. And, like, run differential, I'm starting to, like, this season, I kind of paid attention way more to run differential than I ever have before.
And that's my impact, because I'm big on that.
And it kind of just, at a certain point, and I think it shows who you are, probably at, like, game 100. Like, when you get to game 100, like, you are who you are.
Yeah. I mean, I think game 65 is a good indicator. Like, your run differential, I think, is a good future projection.
I think I tend to lean more towards game 100. Like, now I know for sure who you are.
Well, not just who you are, but like expected wins. Like, if I'm above 500, but my run differential is like -4, it's like, this is gonna like swing the other way.
Yeah. So I just think they're getting what they paid for, man. They have the worst batting average offensively in baseball. They have the second worst on base percentage, the second worst slugging, and the second worst OPS. This team's it's a void of talent. They're just not good enough.
So you think
when you run out a lineup that has 3 guys with a batting average with a number that starts with 1, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, and the pitching staff is just so average. Like, if you would have told me, like, what would you have said if I said that Logan Allen was going to be the second best pitcher on the pitching staff this year? What would you have said?
I think that, it's funny. Obviously it'd be bad. Like, I'm not with it, but also, like, his ERA is 3.8.
You would have said, "Oh, brother,
bad year."
There's Tanner Bobby was a disappointment. Luis Ortiz, not like being a complete idiot about gambling. Emmanuel Clase being a complete idiot about gambling. It doesn't help. It's just one of those things where you just don't. The injuries when the bullpen haven't helped. They're just a very average team, and like they're getting what you pay for.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a blessing and a curse. Because I think my personal belief is that last year, while it was super fun and it was, we enjoyed it, we enjoyed watching it, but it made it, I don't think it was the best thing for the team because I think the Dolans thought I can make the ALCS with $100 million payroll.
Yeah, cut more.
Why would I need to spend?
Right.
I can just keep doing this. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, well, now we're 75, probably less now. It's probably less than $75 million active payroll.
I don't know what the active payroll is.
But like, there's no way that they can make the playoffs. And I think what that needs to happen moving forward is I don't even want to talk about like, we all know that Nolan Jones can't play. We know that Carlos Santana is not going to be back next year. We get all that. I think personally, the front office and Stephen Vogt need to get on the same page of who they want to be moving forward and what's the plan. Because I can't remember. It's been a long time since the Guardians have had a farm system of this much talent from a position player standpoint. It's been a long time. There are a lot of good young players that are very close, if not already ready to go. Do you just lean into it and go with the young guys? Because like Carlos Santana is a clog in the drain. He's not going to be here next year. He's not going to. You can pencil in CJ Cape as probably being your starting first baseman next year. And with David Fry, to me, if David Fry can't throw, which I've been told that he will be ready to throw next year, if he can throw, then he's your catcher. You just split him and Bo. But David Fry can't stop Kyle Manzardo from getting 550 at-bats.
And Manzardo's got to be the heart of the team. I just real quick on your comment about the minor leagues rankings. This year, their minor league ranking, their farm system ranking per Baseball America is number 7. That jumps all the way up from number 19 to 2024. So that's a huge leap in 1 year.
Yeah, there's a lot of good players, man, and like, and I think there's also some good competition too. Like the thing that's frustrating about Brian Rocchio, and I just want to quick second. His good, the difference, the gap between his good and his bad is so large. Mm-hmm. We've seen there's been 4 different windows of time for Brian Rocchio, 2 really good and 2 really bad.
It is. There's never anything
Brian
in the middle.
Rocchio is like, where do you play Bazana? Like, if this current version of Ryan Rocchio is who he is, what do you do? Because I also don't think you can give up on Gabe Arias because he is a super athlete.
He looks
a little thicker, so you don't think he is.
He's a monster.
Like, he has a huge arm. He makes great plays, and he's going to get better offensively. I don't know if he's ever going to be a plus hitter, but like he has power. He hits doubles, and he's clutch.
I think you trade Rocchio this winter and you hope that he ends the year on a hot streak, and if he doesn't, you trade him.
So who do you think? I think they should bring up Bazana for the September call-ups,
unless you want an arm.
But like, what am I bringing an arm for?
No, like you want more bullpen guys.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to win games.
Yeah,
I'm only bringing a bullpen guy, but if I'm like still in it. And like, I guess
if you bring Bazana up, are you going to play him every day?
I don't know. I mean, the also thing I would do is I would seriously have a conversation about just shelving Gaddis and Kate Smith for the rest of the year in September. Mm-hmm. It's been a long 2 years.
Like no more back-to-backs like every other day or like every third day.
I'm just
you need him to get work. You need him to get work.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, Hunter Gaddis he's pitched like 150 games in the last 18 months.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's overworked.
I did, it's just you start making decisions to focus on 2026. But of all things, Stephen Vogt and Chris Antonetti need to come together and make sure that they are aligned and moving in the right direction for the plan. Because my personal belief is that 2027 is the year that they're gonna. That's the year.
It's the end of Jose's
Everything leads to 2027. And I wonder, and like all you can hope for is like these young guys turn into something, and you just hope that Chris Antonetti can convince Paul Dolan to be like, hey, let's make one last run at this while you're still the owner. Like, when you go out with your fans having a positive, at least a little bit of a positive memory of you.
Yeah, that's real.
And 2027 will also be Jose Ramirez when he's 33 years old, which is like
the last prime year,
right on the precipice of him falling off a cliff. Not falling off a cliff, but like on the down.
Yeah, but that's the top. That'll be the peak of it. That'll be the most power he'll have. Maybe not the most speed, but that'll be the most power he'll have, and the smartest he'll be as a baseball player to match that. Because
like CJ Kayfes has shown flashes that he's chosen. Good. We know that Kyle Manzardo, like, I think he's, if he can show you that he can do this again, like, man, that's fun.
What about Quan?
I don't want to talk about Quan.
All right, we'll do that. We'll say that for next episode. Do you ever hear me out, Big Dog?
I do.
What you got?
In regards, and the only reason why I say this in regards to this is because I have a toddler. But the best fruit cup by far is the Mandarin Orange. It's
100% agree. 100%
it's not even remotely close.
100% agree.
I mean, it's like I can't even compare like how much better Mandarin Orange fruit cup is than every other fruit cup.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Especially when they're cold. I had one this morning. I was like, God damn, I forgot how good this was.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like,
no, that's a good one. There's no pushback there. I don't really like the mixed fruit ones that much.
Yeah, the mixed fruit is like, because the pears are they're soggy and like mushy.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a big pear guy though, but yeah.
Like the diced peaches. I will say though, when I was younger, I did love the grapefruit ones.
Mm-hmm.
Grapefruit ones were going.
Not a grapefruit guy.
The Mandarin Orange though, it's like not even close. The Mandarin Orange fruit cup is so far and away the GOAT of all fruit cups. It's just not even remotely close.
That's Jordan. That's Gretzky. That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never be unseated. No, that's real.
Never.
Mine also food related. I think more places should sell hot dogs. Like the fact that because I can go anywhere and get a burger, but I can't go anywhere and get a hot dog. But like my brother, like you cook them together when you go to cookout. It's like we got burgers and hot dogs. It's like when I go to a restaurant, like I don't know how often I would order a hot dog, but it's like you order like egg rolls as an appetizer. What if I want like a little hot dog appetizer at the American restaurant?
What are you, 8?
See, that's the other issue. We destigmatize eating hot dogs. I can have a hot dog without it being a baseball game. Like destigmatize it.
Grow up. What do you want? Like just the watery hot dogs at a restaurant? Are you gonna go to Crave in downtown Akron and be like, I want a hot dog?
People get creative and make everything else in the world fancy, but I can't get a cool gourmet hot dog.
Go to the Guardians games. You get Fruit Loops on one.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't want to have to go to a baseball game and eat a hot dog.
I mean,
you know what? This is supposed to be a safe space. This is turning into what is wrong with Chris at the end of the set.
I got another one real quick.
Oh, yeah. What you got?
If you are over the age of 35, do not put on football pads and a helmet anymore.
Bro, 37U football is my favorite thing of all time. It is incredible.
Guys, there's a video of a 60-plus-year-old man who got rolled up on tore his ACL playing 37U football.
Bro, it's incredible. And it's not. And
your grandpappy was playing left tackle. Can you imagine going into the doctor, be like, how'd you tear your ACL? I was playing football. What? I got rolled up on playing football.
Yeah, bro. It was like
How old are you?
It was 3rd and 3. We had a counter play on, and I was going, and I got rolled up on and tore my ACL.
Oh, who rolled up on you? Oh, my 41-year-old son who plays fullback.
Bro, I love it, bro. I love it. I think 37U football is the greatest thing. I think it can unify our country.
Hey, bro, are you watching the Thursday night football game tonight? No, I gotta play.
Yeah.
Play what? Oh, we're playing the 49ers.
Yeah, bro, I got a game tonight. We're playing the Lake Erie 49ers. It's like, oh, what's Rock doing on his lunch break? He's got the iPad out. Oh, he's watching film. The Broncos just went back to back to back. He's got to put a stop to it.
Our quarterback, he's the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, and the general manager.
Wait. Hey, I'm calling to request a trade.
Give me the
bro, 37U football, like, I don't care what you have going on in life. I'm dropping you off at the closest jail.
No.
I know you're about to commit a crime.
The guys that play this, they need to live in a separate place in society.
Like the gladiators.
Yes, Chris said the gladiators didn't live amongst normal people back in the Roman ages because they were insane. These guys that play football, as a 40-plus-year-old man who never played professional, like as a 40-plus-year-old man, also insane.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine, like, if you played in this 37U league, your son would be going into 4th grade, maybe, like if you're 40 years old, and you would take him to your games. They're really getting blasted in front of their families. Like, I don't like golf. Go play golf.
Go play pickleball. Go.
Honestly, just be fat.
Go play, horseshoes.
Just don't exercise. I would rather you not exercise at that age than go put on the pads.
Go do something else.
Mm-hmm. Go cut your grass.
This is the Midwest 37U Football League, sponsored by CTE and steroids.
Yeah, dude, and a little bit of extra blow. I'm Chris. That's Tyler.
Peace.